What's up, everybody? Good evening to you all. Thank you guys for already tuning in, checking out CowTech episode number 8. Me, your host, Zack Cater. Really excited about this episode tonight. This is one that I've definitely been looking forward to. In short, we're going to be covering all of the Jet Blaster lineup from CowRC. Got some new products here in front of me too to show off. As always, the man himself, Mr. Heath, in the house tonight. Jason, what's going on, buddy? Been beautiful weather down here in South Carolina, man. Spring is in full bloom. I think we're kind of over our pollen season, but the grass is cut, the weed eating's done. So got some time to kind of play around and get some RC racing in. Seeing a lot of guys getting race reports put up on social media, tracks having their opening races for the year. So life is definitely good right now. Tom, what's up, buddy? Thanks for tuning in tonight. I got a boatload of information to go over, quite a bit of cow news to touch on too. So this may be the first episode that I don't get everything done that I wanted to. And if that happens, we're just going to pick it up again in the next episode. So, Nick, good evening to you, buddy. So again, thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. And let's get it kicked off with some cow news. But wait, before I do that, let's go to, I'm going to add this on here right quick. Don't forget, CowTech code, Cow-Tech, save yourself 10% at checkout. You guys that are tuning in from Facebook, if you wouldn't care to please share this out, it helps out greatly. As well as if you guys are tuning in from YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. Good evening. Beautiful weather in Montana, man. Love to hear it, dude. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some folks that still have a little snow on the ground, but not around me. So, first and foremost, got a lot of stuff that is going to be up on pre-sale on the CowRC website. The first one, if you guys remember showing off this white can of the dry graphite spray, you go to the main page on CowRC, you scroll yourself on down to new products, and you'll find it right there. I'll actually click up on it because these are the new graphics in a pink style can for the dry graphite coating. This is what I've been experimenting with and using on my pillow balls, my CV joints, or excuse me, my CV joints, my axle joints. And keep in mind on this pre-order, this is a 2-pack. So you get 2 cans of the dry graphite. So this isn't just one. So these pre-orders are a great way for you guys to save a little bit of money and get in early on the action for some new products. Might be a little snow, but it's high up. Hey, as long as you're out of it, man. Good evening, guys. So, again, the graphite spray, I absolutely love this stuff from the first time that I've used it, and I've continued to use it. One big thing to note with it, and I think it's actually right there. I even put it in big, bold, pink letters for you. It will stain. So whenever you're applying it, when this product starts getting in everybody's hands, just keep in mind of the surface that you're spraying on or what's behind the product or the component that you're spraying it on. If you don't like your hands getting messy, maybe wear a pair of latex gloves or something. You guys know me for a mechanic. I'm used to my hands getting dirty, but definitely keep that in mind with the new graphite spray that it will stain. Going back, these bad boys, these are the new solder mats. These are the big boys. These go into the large carbon fiber mats, like the one that I have in front of me right quick. I'll show you. This is the large carbon mat. This is what those new solder mats are intended to drop down into. So again, on pre-order, and the same way, if you want to bundle and save, you can go ahead. If you don't have a large, one of the 24 by 30 series mats, you can bundle up and save and order it with it. Or if you just want to add on to what your existing mat already is, you can get the new large solder mat in there. Speaking of large mats, there's also going to be some new work mats coming out. These are going to be 24 by 40. So a huge mat. If you're into really big scale stuff, or you just want all the real estate in the world to work in, 24 by 40 is very gratuitous. And they will be available in 3 different styles. You're going to have a double pocket setup, a single pocket, or you can get it without a pocket at all. And if you ever go back, the extra large flat mats, that's 2X's, they used to be available in a 24 by 36. Now to kind of conform with everything, they are a 24 by 40 size flat mat, and these are the flat mats that are just completely flat, no edging to them. Those mats are actually available now. So let's see. Last thing, I'm going to touch on this in 2 ways. If you guys haven't seen it yet, and pre-order is currently up on the site. So there you go. Pics are up on the site, and the pre-order is currently available for the XXL. That's the big 24 by 40 mat. So you guys can definitely check that out. Thank you, Heath. So one of the new items is the new ultrasonic cleaner. This is the updated version that has the metal basin inside. And one thing to note with this unit isn't rechargeable. There's no batteries in it or anything. You run it with the wall adapter. And I just got this in. I haven't had a chance to try it out yet or anything, but I have had some people asking me questions about the overall size of these. Let me check my comment. These product idea, brass brush for 5mm and 4mm bullet plugs. Jeff, that's a cool idea. Also, I'll touch on that right quick because I use 5mm bullet plugs. You can also use a Q-tip with some of the electrical cleaner and degreaser from CowRC, and just go down in and swab out your terminals, just 5mm bullet connectors. That's how I do on mine. Great fit on my workbench for the 24 by 36. So, but right quick, I'm gonna throw this other camera up here. And again, I apologize for this glare. I just treated this Carbon Series mat with a silicone the other day, so I'm getting a little bit of glare from my overhead light. But give you guys a quick size reference of how big this basin is. These are my spare shocks off of my Mugen. It's back behind me, my MBX 8R Equal. So plenty big enough to fit all 4 shocks down inside. And give you one other quick example. I've got a set of rear control arms. These are plenty big enough to fit large components into it. If you break down your towers and everything, should be able to fit right down into these. It does have an actual nice deep basin. I believe these are 500 milliliters, so half a liter basin inside of these. Need a part tray with handles for the new ultrasonic cleaner. Never know, could be a possible idea, man. Keep your hands out of the whatever you're using inside. And speaking of using inside, one thing you guys keep in mind when you're using an ultrasonic cleaner, if you're using the parts and chassis wash inside the ultrasonic cleaner and you're wanting to degrease something, so like perfect example, like diff cases, odds are you're probably not going to be happy with the results. One, because parts and chassis wash is not a harsh chemical cleaner and degreaser. It doesn't really cut out oil. It doesn't cut out grease. And a lot of times when it comes to that kind of stuff where you're trying to remove silicone oil grease, it really needs to be agitated with a brush and not necessarily an ultrasonic cleaner. But I love the ultrasonic cleaners for, hard plastics, getting just down into every last little nook and cranny of getting dirt off, getting clay off after a day of racing. That's where ultrasonic cleaners come into play for me. Sorry, guys. The phone is vibrating, just making sure it's not a crisis in the house. So, quick little shot of the new ultrasonic cleaner, as well as in the packaging, along with most of the electronics through CowRC. These new placards. They just come with all the operating instructions for the device, double-sided. You can keep these around if you ever need them. If by chance you ever lose one, something happens to it, you can go straight back to the website, and I'll pull this up for you guys. Actually, let's go back to the home screen because I know it's already there. When you scroll down on the item that you may be like needing instructions for, down below the description is a little hyperlink, and you can click on it, and right there is the same placard that I just showed you. So it's always going to be there on the website. You can always go back and, you know, revert to it. So let's pull that off. And moving right along, I kept this one in the original packaging because the ultrasonic cleaner comes in a very similar package. But you know, Heath and Cal has done a really nice job on upgrading just simply some of the way things get shipped to us and how they're packaged. And it's actually really nice, you know, just something to care. And inside this box is the new Jet Blaster Mini. So we're going to go ahead and open it up so you guys can see how everything comes out. Again, another one of the information placards with, you know, operating instructions, how to use it. And again, the same way with the Jet Blaster Minis, mostly electronic devices, you can find these same instructions on the CowRC website. Lorraine, what's going on? Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. So right here in the box, now obviously I've already had this one out. I have put my Patriot skins on it, but this is the exact same physical dimensions as the original Jet Blaster Mini was, but overall same size. Biggest thing is everything inside of this has been upgraded. Went from basically a 4,000 milliamp hour capacity to 5,000 milliamp. So you've got a pair of 2,500 milliamp hour batteries in here. Went from a 10 watt motor to a 13 watt, as well as the electronics inside have been updated to handle that. And Dino, my man, what's up, Dino? Thanks for tuning in, buddy. And I can tell you from having had both side by side in my hand, there is a very nice bump up in power that you get from that additional, you know, 3 watts on that motor for the 13 watt. Yes, sir, Mr. Jason, more power. So, and one thing I want to kind of keep in mind as I go through, I'm going to be covering basically everything other than the original Jet Blaster. I will touch on some notes on it, but that's the one Jet Blaster that I don't physically have here. So I'll be going over the Mini, the Jet Blaster Turbo, and the Jet Vac. And yeah, so this guy is definitely a nice little upgrade if you want it from the original unit, or if you're just looking for a great way to keep some portable air with you. This guy is definitely, you know, it. I keep this in my duffel bag, really easy to pack around and take with you. But all the functions on this one, basically the same. Long press, turn it on, you get your 3 LED indicator. And we're going to fire this guy right up. It will definitely push your hand back. It's definitely not a slouch by any means. And we're going to kind of touch back onto that. One thing I did forget to mention, so it just popped up into me. Any of you guys that pre-ordered the new ultrasonic cleaner and you ordered it with the Reaper themed graphic, if you're unhappy with that themed graphic, reach out to Heath and he will make it right for you. Apparently there was a little bit of issue only with the Reaper themed graphics, but before I go too far, if you pre-ordered one of those, reach out. Heath will make it good for you. So move this off to the side. And before I get too deep into all the Jet Blasters, there's one other thing that I got to tell you guys. And I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a little bit of a tease. But if you guys were reading the description and paying attention to what's happening for this show tonight, you guys have been asking for it. And Heath's very graciously went along with it. We will be doing a giveaway. It's not going to be on tonight's show, though. All right. This giveaway, I've got it sitting next to me. It sat here for a couple of days before I opened it up and had to start checking it out. But on episode 11 of this show, CowTech with Zack Cater, episode 11, that's when we're going to be giving this item away. And you do have to be on live. You have to be on the show live through either Facebook or YouTube. And basically the way that we're going to do this is, haven't quite figured it out yet. I'll release it all the way on the next episode, but it will be comment based, whether it's going to be, best comment, best question, something along those lines. So I will get you guys all the details on that for the next episode. So you guys that are watching right now basically get early access to start coming up with some questions, comments, start thinking about what you want to drop in. So everybody tuning in on comments here. So without further ado, guys, this right here is what's going to be the giveaway. And I think Heath kind of hit it on the head of the nail. CowRC Mini Z buggy. And this is the Inferno MP9 style. So, this show is all about racing. That's what the point of view is from this. And why not go with a little buggy? And I will open this up. I'm not going to dig out everything down in the bottom because it's a little bit hard to get out. But what you guys are going to get this out of here is everything in the box. This little guy right here, the CowRC Mini Z. This is the MP9 Inferno. Everything in the box, radio, the transmitter's in there. There's 3 additional extra pinions that go along with this. All of the factory CowRC tools that go along with it are coming with this little guy as well. And you're basically going to be able to take it out of the box, go hit it, run where you want to, and you guys have some fun. Little race cars need love too. So I'm hoping maybe next weekend I can get out to my local hobby shop. They do have an indoor track, and we're going to hopefully get a little bit of footage of running this thing out on the track. So we need those colors for CowRC things. Well, speaking of colors and this little guy right here, I want to show you guys something. Not only are you going to get the little Mini Z as a giveaway, but you are going to get a custom painted body that'll go along with this. Give me just one moment. Here we go. So you guys can see this is the body for this exact CowRC that's getting painted by Dell over at Dip. And you guys may have heard this name and this company before through Adam and Tyler, but that photo right there is the body that he's painting. And God bless him for painting it, because I paint bodies as well, and painting these little guys is definitely a challenge and definitely takes some skill. So that right there is the body that's going to be painted. This is going to be the overall scheme of the paint job, except for the back end of it where the checkered flag is going to be, black and white cow pattern to it. And if you go back and actually look at this, you can see the Lexan wing in the back. Dell's obviously got like some liquid mask on there, and you can see that that cow design's even going to go all the way up into the wing. So big shout out to Dell at Dip for coming up with this for CowRC for this giveaway. And we'll go back to this right here. Hey, there you go. If you're a CowRC guy, definitely want to get in on this. So again, episode 11 is when I'll be giving this away. But again, you guys, you got to be live to tune in. You got to be live on the giveaway. But that right there is going to be the official giveaway on episode number 11. So again, in the meantime, guys, get to thinking about questions, comments, anything that might excite me. Again, episode 9. I will drop all the details on basically comment, and we're going to start getting entries in for a live giveaway for the first time. So thank you to Heath for that. Again, appreciate Dell over at Dip for knocking out or working on a very custom body for this little guy. So moving back along, back into the jet blasters. So back over some of the features. I know it's kind of ping-ponged around a little bit, but touching over the last of the features for the Jet Blaster Mini, there is one accessory that you do not get. Forgot where I put it for a minute. With the new Jet Blaster that came with the old one, and let me actually pull this back up here. This little reduced nozzle. This came with the original Jet Blaster Mini. It does not come with the new one, and do not use this reduced nozzle on the new Jet Blaster Mini. Basically, this is too much of a restriction for the updated Mini. So if you have this and you actually, yes, it actually will fit on there. So do not use the restricted one if you're wanting to update to the new Jet Blaster Mini. It's too much of a restriction for the power of the new Mini. But just like with the old one, you get the brush accessories, a large nozzle accessory, which this is actually was my favorite one with the original Mini. This is the guy that I kept on here all the time. And one thing, like I said, with all the Jet Blasters, each one kind of has its own purpose, but you can obviously use them in conjunction with each other. But this guy is how I always kept it, with the larger nozzle on it. It is perfect for keeping your whole pit area clean. You know, if you're trackside, like me, racing outdoor on clay, you just get clay all over the place. It starts building up dust, falling off the chassis throughout the day. And it's nice to have something like this just for keeping that area clean. There is a small reduction nozzle that comes with this. Again, guys, I'm going to kind of flop back and forth on cameras here because I'm not super crazy about that overhead camera. But this little reduction nozzle, as you can see, has a cutout on each side. So that is an option for you. And all of the same functions as before with the vacuum function are still in place. You've got the rubber tip that goes over the end of it. You've got the little catch canister. It basically acts as your trap to go on top of it. And before I forget, just watch all the shows on Sunday nights. It's kind of, hey, there you go. You know, Sunday, 8 o'clock. This is the place to be. That's for inflation. Oh, okay. I know what he's talking about now. I didn't even know that. This little guy that I just showed off, this little reduced one with the split in the nozzle on each side. If you're a camper, that's what that's for, is inflating. So not for necessarily blowing everything off. But as far as the vacuum goes, you still have your canister. There's a flap inside to keep everything in place. But I think possibly like some people have been overlooking this. And again, let me flop back and forth on this camera. When you have the canister on here, you can take the little extended brush and just pop it right in. So now you've got a setup to where, like, especially with your mats, I actually use this as well, to be able to get down into the corners if you have a screw catcher style mat, or, you know, if you're working on, you know, maybe like a very sensitive area of a buggy or a body, and you just really need to get in someplace and agitate with it, you can with this whole setup. And I can say with the update in power on the new Mini, the vacuum function works way better than the original Mini version. That one's definite. But quick little overview of the Jet Blaster Mini. And again, guys, this has been an item that always stays with me. It's always in my track bag with me. Oh, before I forget, not only, you know, it's kind of easy to look at just the maximum power output, you know, how much air can this put out. One of my favorite features of the Mini, and this is a feature that you can't get out, or at least was for me, can't get out with like the Jet Blaster or the Jet Vac. If you oil bearings and you're cleaning those bearings, you know, you've got your electrical cleaner and degreaser, flushing out those bearings from all the old oil. The low speed output of the Mini is fantastic for drying those bearings all the way off. and not having them go flying across the room. And I'm glad to see that little feature, let's turn it all the way down, just a nice little gentle airflow. That feature was not lost with the upgrade in power on the Jet Blaster Mini. So you can definitely still get in and work with small parts that you want to dry off. And again, for me, that's doing bearings, oiling bearings with the PTFE oil, making sure that electrical cleaner and degreaser is completely dried out of the bearings before I start applying oil to them. So another great use for the Mini. Let's see. Using the rubber sealer helps vacuum power too. Yes, that is true. I was kind of playing around even with the original Mini. I was like, does this thing actually really work? This little rubber cap before you put the canister on. And it makes a significant difference. If you leave this little rubber cap off, you can put the little catch canister on there, but you no longer have a nice complete seal right here, and you will lose a little bit of suction power. So thank you for pointing that out. So definitely, if you want to use the vacuum function, don't miss out on the little rubber cap. All right. Check up on some comments with you guys. My Minis always has the small reducer on the brush. The brush, great for racing mud boss. I'm sure it'll be great with the Lossy 2022 sprints. Right on. Very interested in seeing those new Lossies come out too. Nice to see that somebody's using something else other than me as well. I am so pigeonholed on 8th scale racing. So I love hearing comments from you guys that race other classes. Hint, hint. Let's see. Only 2 things that travel with me. Yeah, and honestly, for me, this is one of those things like if I've ever forgotten this at home, which has been very, very rare, or I've went to a track just to go like practice at my local track, not having this with me is just like crushing, knowing that it's not there and I don't have it to go to. Rick, what's up? Bruce Pittman, thank you guys tuning in. Again, we're covering all of the CowRC Jet Blaster lineup tonight. And stick around towards the end of this as well. I'm trying to think in my mind of the best way to actually show air output on video. And other than like coming up with some crazy contraption, like floating inches of mercury or whatever, I've got a set of tires that I ran at my last race that I didn't clean up. And I'm going to clean them right here in front of me with this overhead camera. And use each one of these Jet Blasters to dry off a different tire. Because that's about the best way that I could show like actual product being moved with using each one of these Jet Blasters. So moving along, guys, quick overview on the new Jet Blaster Mini. Absolutely love this guy. And again, with the packaging, I'll show this to you guys again. With the packaging that it comes in, even if you want to, this is nice enough that if you just want to store the Jet Blaster Mini in it, you can keep everything together by itself. This will fit in the pocket of like a Proline bag, a ProTech hauler bag. So a great way just to kind of keep everything together if you want to. What's up? Can't really say Chris. That's my dad. It sounds weird. So evening, Daddy. Let's see. The big banner behind me, you know what? Actually, Jason, I'll keep that in mind. If it doesn't show up too great with, cleaning off the tire wash for some tires, I can definitely blow at the big banner. I need one next item to get. They are very, very handy. Absolutely love it. So, moving along, guys. My pride and joy. This is my baby. I ain't even gonna lie. And that's the Jet Blaster Turbo. Believe it or not, I've actually had this before I got on with the CowRC factory team. So this wasn't anything I won. This wasn't anything that was given away. I paid, every last dollar for it, and I have absolutely loved the Jet Blaster Turbo. Right quick, these guys do come with a couple of attachments. I'll leave this down for you so you guys can see it from the overhead. And I'm sorry this is kind of backwards. I have this camera mounted up here very funkily. But as far as the attachments that come with it, you get a nice broad fan nozzle. You do get a very restricted reduced tip nozzle, but I'll show this to you guys a little bit closer up. On the reduced down nozzle, you do have a hole right here because basically it's just, again, too much back pressure. We want to keep the unit safe and protected. So basically it's got a little bit of a bleed hole to come out. Let's see. Bruce, using my cheat blower to blow out motors. Another good point. I like that a lot. Even cleaning my 8th scale motor, I will use the Jet Blaster Mini to blow out the inside of it. Bruce, definitely, the new Mini is a nice upgrade. And over here on the side, I still have my original Mini that's still going, still rocking. But the power output from the updated version is definitely impressive. But yeah, good point. You can use the Mini for blowing out motors, especially like you guys that might do carpet racing indoors. You know, you guys are constantly shimming and changing motor setups inside. Great way to keep them up to snuff. So on to the Jet Blaster Turbo again, guys. So one thing to keep in mind with the Jet Blaster Turbo, the original Jet Blaster, and the Jet Vac, these are all made by Metrovac. That's all listed on the CowRC website. Nothing to hide there. But the big difference is they are made to CowRC's specs. And that's actually the same way with the new Jet Blaster Mini. That unit is made for CowRC. So it's not just, you know, basically with the original Jet Blaster, this was something, you know, that CowRC brought in and resold, help guys out, fill out a niche. With the new Minis, they are made specifically for Cow. So I guess I shouldn't say proprietary, but made to CowRC specs. Not really going to find like the same thing out there. Not all have to go. Just got home from watching the race. Awesome. Hey, well, Nick, thanks for tuning in, man. Again, follow in on the next episodes. Get in on the giveaway for that Mini Z. The summertime to cool them down on back-to-back mains. Another good point. Good point. It's not often that I get to run into back-to-back mains, but yeah, that's actually a great solid point for it. But before I go to the Jet Blaster Turbo, again, guys, I don't have the standard Jet Blaster here. Just the one that I don't have, but love my Jet Blaster. But right quick on it, gotta find my notes. Wrote all this stuff down. So some things that you're going to get with the regular, the non-turbo Jet Blaster compared to like if you were to just go look on Metrovac's website, you can find similar units to these, but not the exact ones through Cal. But some of the things that you're going to get are the additional attachments. The same way with the Jet Blaster Turbo, you're going to get the longer extension cord for it, or basically the longer cord. It's not an extension cord. And I can tell you guys, having this extra length of cord is wonderful for when you're in a pit area. You know, like most of us, we're underneath like a 10 by 10 canopy, or I'm outside of my camper pitting. Having that extra length of cord to not have to unplug, replug someplace else, or even just to carry an extension cord along to plug into it is wonderful. That was such a great idea to have these longer cords made into them. Let's see. With the regular Jet Blaster, the switch on it, basically it's got the on-off toggle switch. As compared to like the turbo, you have the variable speed switch on here. That switch is updated on the regular Jet Blaster unit. This is another item. I did not know this, but Heath told me talking before the show, these units have an internal circuit breaker into them. So especially like with the standard Jet Blaster, they do tend to run a little bit warm, again, on the standard units, not the turbo version, but they have an internal breaker in them. So if you guys are really working these things, you know, you're just constantly running and running and running, especially, you know, the standard version, it's wide open or it's nothing and it shuts down on you. Let it sit for a while. Let it cool all the way down because, again, it does have an internal circuit breaker into it. And let's see. Rick, thank you. I use the mini jet blaster to help dry my CA. Ooh, yes. When I glue the right front on my 1RC cars. Yeah, speeding up CA glue. I've done the same thing if I'm like in a rush. When you're gluing, that's what Tom's pointing out there. You guys, maybe you're gluing up a fresh set of tires between rounds or something. You can take the Jet Blaster Mini, hit that CA glue, let it dry a little bit quicker if you're in a pinch. Let's see here. All right. So one big key thing too with the Jet Blaster and the Jet Blaster Turbo, these guys draw air from the bottom side, which you can see. This is the actual filter for it. You can see mine's, kind of dirty. Outside, I'm racing in clay. It basically gets everywhere. So one thing that you do not want to do with these units is have them on and then set them down. I've done it myself by mistake. Anything that you have sitting on the table that you set this down on, especially like anything that's cloth or whatever, it will suck to the bottom of the Jet Blaster. These things put out a boatload of air, so you gotta get a boatload of air into them. But that's the biggest differences with the Jet Blaster and the Jet Blaster Turbo. One other big difference with the Turbo compared to the standard version, the Jet Blaster Turbo actually uses the fan setup from the Jet Vac into it. I had no clue on that one either. So with the Jet Blaster Turbo, you get more than just, the variable on-off switch. But you do still get the same long extension cord, which is grounded, by the way. You have your 3 prongs instead of just your 2 prongs. So keep yourself a little bit safer. But yeah, and you also get extra filters with the Jet Blaster Turbo, and I got them. Bear with me just a second. Okay. So just like all the extras that you get with buying these through CowRC, the additional attachments, the upgraded switch, the longer extension cord on them, it does come with filters. Additionally, actually, you get 3 filters, and I'm still running the same filter that I've had on here for 2 years, so it's probably getting pretty close to getting a good replacement, maybe at the end of this year. But so you get a lot in the overall package with these. Let's see. I'm gonna check on some comments, guy. Bobby Coleman, clay in the Carolinas is brutal. It absolutely is. If you race outdoor clay like me, it gets on everything, and it turns everything very much so orange. Dino, man, your wish list for this guy has been out for a while. You got to get you onto that, and definitely going to touch on this point because you guys will probably get me on my soapbox with air compressors. I suck my t-shirt to the bottom of mine all the time. It will definitely do it, Johnny. Jason, what's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, Dino brings up a point. This is one that I wanted to touch on. Before I got the Jet Blaster Turbo, I used to use what a lot of guys use, and that's just your typical small, portable air compressors. And the recovery time on them sucks, I'll be honest. The final straw for me was I was at a race down in Sumter, South Carolina, and I had the compressor going, which at the time my son was really young. He hated the sound of it. He would actually run away from it. And we were walking around the entire racetrack, and I was on the opposite end of the track from where I was pitted at. I could still hear that compressor running plain as day. And this was like on a practice day before a big race. So one, just the noise of a compressor, the hassle of carrying around, like even a small 3-gallon compressor really isn't that small versus, we get something to reference. Okay. Most of you guys, you've probably seen, tub of Hide wipes. That's the size of the Jet Blasters. So a really compact package that I love it for blowing off my tires, keeping them dry after I'm done cleaning them. The same way, blowing off my chassis between rounds. You go out, run your qualifier, practice, whatever. come back into the pits, blow everything off, and it's just that little bit of extra that you don't have to clean throughout the day. But another thing, again, touching on compressors, this is my soapbox item, and this is one really big reason why I love the variable part on the Jet Blaster Turbo. A lot of guys don't think about this. Air compressors draw a lot of wattage. Even if it's a small 3-gallon, 5-gallon style compressor, and at a lot of tracks, you're generally plugged into the track's house power, unless you're running in a pit trailer off of a generator. So you may have 4 or 5 guys, pitting that are all running off of, one outlet or one circuit breaker. And then there's that guy with the air compressor that when that compressor fires up, that's a lot of sudden wattage that's pulled through, the track's house power system. And I have seen it time and time again where guys have those compressors. It does that. And the next thing you know, 5, 6 people around you are going, what happened? Where's the power? Because that compressor just tripped the breaker for that gang of outlets. And happens at my local track quite often as well. Some here. Trying to keep track of comments, guys. Good evening. Come on. Let's see. My barber always steals my mini blowers. Great for haircuts. That's pretty cool. Slow is fast. What's up? What's up? Glad to have you here. Heath, is a smaller package for travel possible with the hide wipes? Safe RC, I can comment on that right quick. There are the sample packages. You can get those with the hide wipes. Might be an option for you. Into a power bank. Yeah, that'd be nice. But yeah, that's a big crux for me with air compressors, versus with the Jet Blaster Turbo. When you just dial this up, you're not pulling a boatload of wattage all of a sudden, through putting a big electrical load on a track's house power, and then you crank it on up to wherever you want it to be at. So, and again, with the noise of a compressor, as I get a little bit older, more and more noise kind of bugs me. If you're ever around me and you're setting up with an air compressor and I move down a few feet, don't be too awful surprised. I just don't want to hear it all day. I just keep some in a Ziploc bag. There you go for the hide wipe comment there. Keeping some in a Ziploc bag to take along with you. It's actually a good option. Keep them nice and moist too. So moving along, guys. I think that pretty much covers most everything on the Jet Blaster Turbo. And then I'm definitely going to have the other camera for this guy. Down below me is the Jet Vac. And this is, again, made by Metrovac for CowRC. This comes, to CowRC standards, how they want it to be made. So some of the things with the Jet Vac that you get over just a standard like unit you might be able to purchase through Metrovac. Again, the longer extension cords, the amount of accessories that come with the Jet Vac. I've got a handful of them over here that I'll show you guys. I physically don't have enough room to show you everything. But the accessories that come with this are very, very gratuitous. The same thing, you get the extra filters for it, and I'll pop this open and show you guys basically the basic simple breakdown of changing the filters inside of this. No fuel, can run anywhere, and solar panels for charging and outside races. Yeah, there you go. I want to do solar panels on my camper for that reason. All-time favorite. Come on, mouse. Jet Blaster, I really don't run my compressor. Yeah, and guys that pit around me, they're always welcome to come up and use my Jet Blaster Turbo. And a couple of guys have bought their own. But it's nice to have, sorry, taking that, that option right there as well. Workhorse. All of these are workhorses. And again, the Jet Vac is one that I did not realize how much I would actually use this. Because I have the wall mount, which comes with this as well. This comes with a wall mount. You can mount it horizontal. You can mount it, upright, however you want to with the bracket. It's over on the wall back behind me where I keep this at home. the flux capacitor model blaster. Close, man. This is the jet vac. And we'll pop this open right quick. So on, actually this might be easier with the other camera. What you have inside of here, basically one end of the unit is air output for blowing. The other end of the unit is your suction side. I'll get it. For, you know, using a vacuum. And just like I was saying, using the Jet Blaster Mini, for like keeping my pit area clean at the racetrack, keeping my work area here at home with the jet vac is a godsend. To be able to take this after I've been out here wrenching, go around all of my mats, clean everything up in the corners is wonderful. And the same thing, like working out here, cutting wood or something, I've got a little bit of sawdust someplace. You can definitely take the jet vac and clean up messes with it that way as well. Basically, see, the cover just pops off, simple. And inside of here, you've actually got 3 levels of filtration in here. You've got an outer cover, your main actual filter, which if you ever need any of these filters, you know, it comes, I believe, with 3 of them. You can get these actually through Cow. You can contact Keith if you need to, and you can get a filter. And then inside of it, you've got another foam filter, and then you've got a grate protecting the impeller. And something that I had never thought about that was brought to my attention, if you're using this as a blower and you want the maximum air output that you can possibly get, basically take this all out. Take the filter out, take the foam out of the inside, because that's the way that the unit works. It draws through the vacuum in and then out the other side for your blower output. So just a quick little tip, if you need all the blower output that you can get, swap these guys out. In a sense, it's making a restriction for the blower side. And I have never once thought about that, but on the same token, as is like this with the filter in here, I have never felt like I need more airflow. Like, I've never felt like it doesn't have enough power as a blower. Because the same thing, somebody mentioned about, I'm reading comments, sorry I'm not posting them up, but the size reference of them. It's not a big unit. It is not a big, bulky, cumbersome thing. You know, however wide the average human knee is about how wide it is. It does come with a shoulder strap. Well, let me do the other camera. There we go. There's actually, we'll go one step further. Kind of see if this is going to pop up better for you guys. Let's do it this way as I'm yakking along. Basically, you've got a set of clevises up top to where you can run a shoulder strap on it. My wife absolutely loves this thing as well. We've got hardwood floors all throughout our house. We've got a dog. We've got a couple of cats. So you get those little furball tumbleweeds rolling around. And this guy, you know, she likes it to be able to portable to carry around and help keep the house clean. You guys that are rocking pit trailers, in my mind, this would be a must-have in a pit trailer for, you know, not only keeping your buggy clean throughout the day, but, you know, at the end of the day, keeping your trailers actually clean to be able, you know, vacuum up the floors, vacuum up your work area. To me, it's just, that would just be a perfect pair. And we do the same thing with our camper. We can take this guy inside the camper. Now we've got our portable vacuum for whether we're camping, we're at a track for a race day. The jet vac is smaller than I thought. Yeah, okay, yeah, so that's what I show you. It's not a big unit, or it's not an overly big unit, excuse me. Still smaller than a compressor. Absolutely, Dino. So, quick little overview of the jet vac. And man, if I hadn't mounted that camera that way, I could show you guys the wall bracket that it comes with. But basically, the feet on the bottom of it are rubber mounted, and the bracket just slides into it. locks itself into place. And again, you can mount this horizontally, you can mount it vertically, you can actually mount it underneath a ledge if you needed to, like underneath of a table. Gotta get a Jet Blaster Mini. I can't take it anymore. But hey, good thing you've held out, you know, for the upgraded units. So, right quick, guys. One of the big accessories that the Jetback comes with is actually a small reduction set of brushes. You know, you've got the big hoses, like these right here, give you a good size comparison. You know, these are the standard hoses that it comes with. There's actually 2 of these with a connector inside, so you can hook 2 of these hoses up. And hang on, let's just click this. These hoses are gratuitously long. I mean, I'm 6 foot, so there's 6 foot of hose, plus an additional one, multiple attachments for the big hoses. You can check all of those out on the CowRC page. But I wanted to kind of showcase this part off because it could probably get overlooked, was this small set of brushes. If you need something that's very fine, detailed, you want to get into every last little nook and cranny, this is a great set for that. And again, because the machines are putting out a lot of power, a lot of suction, you can see there are some reliefs in the adapter to make not too much of a restriction for the jet vac. But and then lastly, just like, you know, your typical shop vacs, you get 2 of the hard plastic long extensions if you need to get up someplace high, again, like in a pit trailer. Obviously, the jet vac can go way more than just with RC, but for RC purposes, you know, I love having the jet vac here at home in my garage to be able to use it as a stationary device, because then the Jet Blaster and the Jet Blaster Turbo and the Jet Blaster Mini both stay basically in my racing bags to go with me. That's right, RC for us, on it all the time. Don't forget, man, those like and subscribe buttons. Well, there you go. You heard it from the boss lady. That's actually my wife tuning in right there. She knows how much she loves the jet vac for cleaning around the house. So if you don't believe me, believe my wife. Yeah, got to earn my brownie points where I can. Or to suck up your body clips. It will definitely do stuff like that if you're not careful for what you've got laying around. So right quick, guys. Said I wanted to try to get all of this in here. I know it's a lot of information, but I really just want to demonstrate right quickly to you guys basically the air output from these. Don't just take my word for it. I love it when I can show you guys physically something. And I'm that kind of person that goes that way. I love actually seeing, you know, products in use. So right quick, I'll throw this over here. I'm going to bring up this view, so get you guys in here. And again, I just treated this mat with silicone. Apologize for the reflection on it. So I've got my Move Clean tire wash, and we're going to start out with the Jet Blaster Mini. And again, I'm going to use the larger output nozzle. This is my nozzle of choice. Even on the old unit, so helps if you open up the bottle there. And what I'm kind of hoping for is that I can show you guys some nice foaming action here. Maybe get a little bit of suds going on, and you guys can see this actually all kind of blow and get dried off. Plus, I'm going to clean my tires while I can. So we're going to power this little guy on, and I am going to go wide open with it. So try to pick a good angle here where you guys can see. Actually, you know what? Let me just kind of stand up a little bit. I want to get it good and close to this upper camera for you guys. But Here we go, wide open. There you go. Obviously, I'm not going to go all the way around the tire, but you guys can see. There we go. Nice, clean. It's actually dry. If we flip it over, you can see this side is actually, you know, still wet. And while I've kind of got this right here laying in front of my mat, again, the same thing what I do on race days, just keeping everything nice and tidy. We're going to move around some of this tire wash that's sitting here. I was hoping whatever gnat just flew in me, I could have blasted him right quick. So definitely, you know, an option with the original Jet Blaster Mini. I never really cleaned tires with it, but I wanted to just kind of show you, you know, what it can do as far as the new updated unit and move around some product. And right quick, we'll plug the Jet Blaster Turbo in and do the same thing. And while this may come across loud on the show because I've got a camera right here, that's the one that's actually picking up audio, is really not loud. It's by far quieter than a regular compressor. I'm going to grab another tire just to kind of do the same thing again. And again, guys, I'm just trying to showcase more so movement of air, how much air these guys actually put out using the CowRC tire brush. I have found that I really love this brush for bar tires, by the way. Sometimes getting clay that's packed in just doesn't work with my homemade tire wash station, but the tire brush does a really good job on bar tires with packed in clay. So same thing when I come in here. Again, I'm going to stand up just to kind of get this tire closer to that camera. You can see it a little bit on the little one. And I'm going to crank it up, just turn it on low, and then go wide open with it. So this camera will focus for me. Here we go, guys. And again, just a couple of seconds is all it takes, and this is completely dried. We've blown all the tire wash off of it. And I'll do the same thing. I'll move around some of the product on my carbon mat right here. Going to start out low and then ramp it up. Let it line itself on down before I set it down, because remember, jet blasters suck up through the bottom. And then lastly, I'll swap over to the jet vac. And again, guys, with the, let me just hang on to this between my legs. Keep in mind that the Jet Blaster Turbo uses the same fan as what's in the jet vac, which is what I'm about to use right now. I'm going to fire up the jet vac. So, going to scrub a little bit. I know I may go over a minute or two here, but we're heading home plate. So, again, right here, the jet vac on the blower side of things. Damn. There we go. Okay, that was fun. So again, the same thing, guys. A lot of power out of the jet vac. Completely dry tire. Obviously still wet on the other side. So move this out here. And let's go right here. So there you go, guys. Overview of the entire Jet Blaster lineup from CowRC. Each one of these units, can obviously be used in very specific ways, for whatever you may be after, from small to large items. Tom, got to run. Hey, thanks, Tom. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I know I'm going over a little bit, but I definitely wanted to get some kind of a demonstration in right quick for all three of the Jet Blasters. But all of them are very great products. The Jet Blaster Turbo and the Jet Vac I've had the longest. I've had zero issues out of them. One of the nice things about them as well is the build quality and construction with them. Very strong, very sturdy. I've had no issues with them not performing or hardware coming loose on them. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. I want to kind of do a quick close right here and head out of here. So 2 weeks. Check back in, guys. We're going to be doing the Mini Z giveaway, the Coyote Show. So think about those comments. Any of you guys that are going to the North Georgia Shootout in Tiger, Georgia in 2 weeks, I will be there racing. So if you guys see the big CowRC banner out there, you see me out on the track, give me a holler, come shout. Maybe there's something, a product that you want to see. Odds are I'm going to have it with me. So, again, it's the North Georgia Shootout, Tiger, Georgia. I will be there. That's also when the next episode is going to be. So, may get to do a really cool live show trackside. And I got a pretty good topic that'll go along with that, too. So, guys, thank you all for tuning in again. This hour has absolutely flown by, but I've been really looking forward to this episode. So, guys, don't forget about the pre-sale items on CowRC as well. Take advantage of those savings. So, it's springtime. Let's get out there and race. So, thanks, guys, for tuning in. God bless you all.